that I love to dwell. It's the presence of my Father. All the host of heaven gather, worshiping, bowing down before Him. There is a place that I love to dwell. It's the presence of my Father. All the host of heaven gather, worshiping, bowing down before Him. Yeah. I know a place that I love to dwell.
Okay, today is June 1st.
It's the presence of my Father. All the hosts of heaven gather just to worship Him, bowing down before Him. Holy, 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 holy,
place that I long to dwell. Good evening, New Season Gospel FM family. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you all so much for coming on this evening to join me on this week's episode of Faith Matters with me, Mnena. So thank you to all those who are joining on 89.1 FM. It is an honor to have you on. Thank you so much to those who have tuned in on our YouTube page. Thank you. And of course, those on newseasonfm.com, I welcome you to the show. And definitely those who are in the room with me this evening, our Facebook family. Thank you all so much for coming on with me tonight. Hey, Laurel, how are you doing? Hey, Yeye, I hope you're doing well. Thank you all so much. I hope you all had a great day and your week is off to a great start. It's always just an honor to come on, like coming off of the weekend, off of Sunday, I would say, and just starting off a fresh week filled with, God's blessings and just His power. So I always say Sundays are my favorite days, just because I get to be in church and I get to worship. And as always, this past Sunday was amazing, as always. I hope you all had a great Sunday as well. So welcome. If you're just coming on, this is Faith Matters with me, Mnena. This is a platform where we reflect on our daily Christian walk, like how we're being Christ's hands and feet in everything that we do. We're not just called to be Christians on Sunday. It's not just a one time a week or one day a week thing. It is a 24/7 deal. And so I usually just come on here to just reflect on how that journey is. Because a lot of times people think that as Christians we don't go through struggles, we don't have those challenges, it's all rosy. But that's not usually the case. We struggle. We all have those moments where we're feeling down and up, and all that good stuff and all that that happens. But how do we handle those moments and how do we act in those moments? Is usually where the question lies, and how we're able to just get through those moments. So I basically just reflect on the show to talk about. I do most of the talking, most of the reflecting, because I talk about what happens to me. Pretty much everything we talk about on the show is just a reflection of my faith walk. Hopefully, it resonates with you. The audience as well. And so today is August 16th. It is the 228th day of the year. That means we only have 137 days left in 2021. 137 days left in 2021. I'm going to take a pause right there, and just before I go on, to say thank you so much to all our sponsors. We are a listener-supported station, and it's because of your generosity that we're able to come on the air and do what we do. It's not just us, the team. We can't do what we do without you. And so I just want to take the time to say thank you so much for your generosity. If you haven't been supporting, I really would like to encourage you to try to do so. Prayerfully consider doing so. There's different ways that you can support. You could do so through Cash App. The information for Cash App is the $ New Season WC. That's the $ New Season WC. You can do so through Zelle. For Zelle, it's 954-536-1821. Again, that's 954-536-1821. You can also do so through our website, newseasonfm.com. Go straight to the website. It takes you to click on the give and donate button, and it opens up this whole new page where you can just give over there. It's really easy, not complicated at all. But if any of those don't work for you, you'd rather just send us a check, you can mail it to 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida 33351. Again, that's 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida 33351. So please, if you haven't supported, please prayerfully consider doing so to help us out with your giving. We're all in this together, just promoting and just trying to build God's kingdom, and just bringing programming that is enriching to our faith walk. So please consider being a supporter today. So back to my days counting down. It's 137 days left in the year. I'm hoping that at this point in the year, you can check off a few things, or not a lot, off of your list, that you can say these are my little, hopefully big, but if not big, there's no need to be worried. It's okay not to have those major gigantic accomplishments, as long as you make those little steps, those little strides, are what's really important. So are you able to check off of that list those little accomplishments that you've achieved, those little victories that you've had? I'm hoping that at this point in the year, because we're almost there, before you know it, September is here, and once we get to September, that's, it's going really fast. So you don't want to get to the end of the year and be like, oh my goodness, what have I achieved? I haven't really done anything. I'm hoping that at this point in the year, and I said it last week, that you are at a higher level in your faith walk than you started the year off. I'm happy to say that I'm actually, I think I've grown more in my spiritual walk, in my faith journey. I've grown a lot more than, I'm not at the same level I was at when January hit. And I'm so happy about that. So I'm hoping it's the same for you, and not just your spiritual walk, but just everything in general. I'm hoping that you can say, I am this, I've accomplished this, and so forth. And so that's something to think about. If you haven't started anything yet, it's not too late. There's no better time than now to do something. There's no better time than the present to actually do something, or to say, I'm going to try to do this, I'm going to start doing this. I think the fear is not starting at all. Like, when you don't start, then you never know. You can't sit down and be like, what if it doesn't work out? But what if it does work out? You're never going to know until you start. And so whatever it is that's on your heart, whatever has been just really tugging at you, a passion that you've had, something that you really wanted to start, but you're fearful of, I want to encourage you to just go ahead and do it. Just do it. Good evening, Sister Salma. Thank you for coming on. So just do it. Okay, just do it. I think Nike was onto something. They were onto something when they brought that, when they held into that slogan, just do it. Because the only thing to do is to just do it, and you're never going to know if you don't do it. So I'm just here to encourage you to just do something. Start right now. There's no time like the present. So, like I said, if you're just coming on, this is Faith Matters with me, Mnena. I hope you've had a great week. Hey, Akil, thanks for coming on. There's been a lot has been going on. Hi, Shoshana, how are you? Going on, especially in this past week. If you're in this side of in this neck of the woods, that this week, I want to say next week, this week our kids go back to school. So a lot of our kids go back to school this week. So we're praying for just God's covering over them, especially during those crazy times. It's definitely a crazy, scary time, especially for parents. For a lot of parents, with all that's going on, with the battle of masks or no masks, so it's like everyone's just like fearful, more or less. But I'm just praying that everything goes well. Our kids will be covered in schools. I think that at the end of the day, once we pray and just have God cover them, all we have to do is just sit back and just let God, just do his work. So I'm not worried. My kids are covered, and I'm praying for covering over other kids as well. And I know that he will protect them from any harm. So good luck to all the kids, or you parents out there who are going around right now thinking, oh my gosh, it's back to reality, having to deal with school pickups and all of that. So I hope that you all have a great school year, and don't get too stressed out about it, parents out there. Hey, Sister Primrose, thank you for coming on. And so jumping into my holidays, you guys know I always talk about the holidays. I have quite a few today. And it's so funny when I saw this, I was thinking to myself, is this like a message of some sort that God is, showing or telling me? Is there a message in here somewhere? But here's the funny holiday, and it's tied to my reflection for this evening, and I'm kind of titling, the title of my reflection is actually going to be this. But today is Monday, and guess what Monday is? Monday is National Roller Coaster Day. National Roller Coaster Day. I don't see Pastor Henry on yet, but if she was here, I'm probably sure she would be cracking up right now. But boy, do I have a story to tell you guys for sure, regarding roller coaster. But it is National Roller Coaster Day today. It is also Tell a Joke Day. I didn't come prepared with a joke, and I was like, I'm gonna get a joke for them today for sure, and I totally just I did not remember to come in with a joke. So if you're out there, if you have a joke, throw one out to us. It's National Tell a Joke Day. It is also Stay Home with Your Kids Day. Stay Home with Your Kids Day today. It is, yeah, I think that's all I have for today. So it's roller coaster, National Roller Coaster Day, Tell a Joke Day, and Stay at Home with Your Kids. So, Akil, if you have a joke, I'm calling you out right now. So tell us a joke, Akil. Tuesday, tomorrow, is Baby Boomers Recognition Day. So all those baby boomers out there, tomorrow is your day. We recognize you. So it's dedicated to all the baby boomers, the generation that was born between 1946 and 1964. So if you're born within that bracket, tomorrow is your day. We're recognizing you tomorrow. It's Balloon Airmail Day. It's National Number 2 Pencil Day. It is also what do I have here? I think it's National Nonprofit Day as well. It's also National Thrift Shop Day. So you get to shop. You get to be thrifty on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. If you like vanilla custard, it's Vanilla Custard Day. Wednesday is Mail Order Catalog Day. It's Helium Discovery Day. Oh, I love fajitas. So it's Fajita Day on Wednesday. And also Bad Poetry. So for those of you who like poetry, I love to read, but I used to be like a huge fan of poetry, but I guess maybe since I haven't really had a lot of time to focus on it, I'm not that into poetry anymore. But it is Bad Poetry Day on Wednesday. I don't know what that means, but it's also Serendipity Day. It's also Serendipity Day. So serendipity is the willingness to live your life as if everything is a miracle. I think this is very important. Whoa, she's on. She is on, people. Good evening, Pastor Henry. A pleasant good evening to you as well. I'm coming for you in a second, Pastor Henry. Serendipity Day is just like, living your life as if it is a miracle. Every day is a miracle, and I think that's really important that we live our lives like that. It's rejoicing in the unknown and always expecting the best. Rejoicing in the unknown and always expecting the best. Thursday is Bow Tie Day. So for all the guys out there, if you have your bow ties, if you're into bow ties, you can rock your bow ties on Thursday. It's Orangutan Day on Thursday as well. Since I keep talking about animals and their days, it is Orangutan Day on Thursday. I think they deserve a day as well. It's Aviation Day. It's also Hot and Spicy Food Day. So for those of you who like hot and spicy, Thursday is a day to knock yourself out with anything hot and spicy. It's also Potato Day, Sandcastle and Sculpture Day. I think that's when you get to go to the beach and just build your sandcastles and sculptures on the beach. It's Soft Ice Cream Day. It's Humanitarian Day. I love that one. I'm going to run with that. It's also World Photograph Day it's the Photograph of Photography Day on Thursday. I like this one. Friday. So calling all the bacon lovers out there, Friday is Bacon Lovers Day. It's also International Day of Medical Transporters. Chocolate Pecan Pie Day. I don't like pecans, so Not my cup of tea, not my thing. But if you do love pecans, it's chocolate pecan pie day. It's also lemonade day. I love lemonade. Friday is dedicated to men's grooming, so it's men's grooming day. So for all the guys again out there, after you put on your bow ties on, I think it's Thursday, you might be like, you know what? It's Friday today, so I'm gonna get myself a little groomed and see. Yes, that's for sure. Yeah, yeah. Sue would definitely be happy with bacon day. I'm not telling them about it because if I do, they're going to just eat bacon all day. And this one is actually Friday is also radio day. So we hear a new season gospel FM. We'll be celebrating radio day on Friday because Friday is always fun Friday. And so we're closing out our holidays with this Mosquito Day. So it's World Mosquito Day on Friday. I don't know why I said mosquitoes and just instinctively, like, I'm just beating my my legs here. Like, it's almost like, oh, did they hear me? But it is World Mosquito Day on Friday. So those are the holidays that will, just wrap up the week for us. For sure, I am running with Serendipity Day. Just live every day as a miracle. Live every day. Every day is a blessing. Hi, Sister Jasmine. Thank you for coming on. Every day is a blessing. It's a miracle. Constantly expect good things to come your way. Constantly expect blessings to come your way. So Serendipity Day for me. Also, which is what my reflection today is based on. National Roller Coaster Day. National Roller Coaster Day. I'm still waiting on that joke, so think about it. But it's National Roller Coaster Day today. So, drum roll, guys. So I had a very a great weekend, a great weekend, and so we went to Universal this weekend with the youth group, and over here. And boy, was that an experience. That was an experience. Pastor Henry kept teasing and saying that she was certain I'll talk about my experience on the show. I will talk about I will talk about my experience on the show, and she couldn't wait to hear what I had to say. And she couldn't wait to hear what I had to say. Well, she was right, because I will reflect on that experience, because like we all know, Faith Matters is about me talking about our reflecting on our daily Christian walk, and everything that happens to me, it doesn't just happen on Sunday. So our Christian walk is like a daily thing. It's 24/7. It's a 24/7 deal. So I'd like to say first off that I love Pastor Henry so much, and I've always admired her, and I've always looked up to her. But I think even more now, after this trip, because we went together, and I think I've admired her more. This trip made me admire and look up to her like 10 times more, if that makes sense. I don't even know if that's possible. But, I just found myself saying, I want to be like her. I want to be like her when I grow up. And that being said, she's just amazing. But that being said, people, she almost killed me, y'all. She almost killed me. She is a beast, I tell ya. She is fearless. She's probably going to start texting me or saying something, not asking why I'm talking about her, a lot about her on the show, making the show about her. But my reflection is going to be on, just different aspects of that, of that journey, that experience, and hopefully, hopefully I'll kind of do my best. I'll do my best to, get through all of my thoughts this evening. But going back to Pastor Harry, she's amazing. She's amazing, and I'm starting off with her, but I'm gonna ask a question and just pose a question to all of us here tonight, to myself as well, because I already asked myself a question and I've still been, pondering on it. What light are you shining? What example are you setting? Are you being your authentic self? Are you being your authentic self? And I started to pose these questions just by, by being with her for the 3 days that we were away, just watching her and seeing how she handled things and just seeing how she was. I mean, she was extremely authentic. I mean, even in the midst of the fun and the craziness and her trying to kill me, she was still very loving in the midst of, let's do it, you can do it. But are you being your authentic self? What light are you shining, for others to see? How are you living Christ's light? How are you being that example, that shining example for others? What kind of life are you leading outside of the church? Are you being authentic? And I want to say here that she's very authentic, and I knew she's very shy and she's going to start feeling a certain way, but I just mean this in a very good way. And just to say that I really appreciated the opportunity of just being with her and just watching her just really close up like that. But so here's what happened. I've never been on a roller coaster. Never wanted to be on a roller. It was never a dream of mine. You know how people want to be like, you know what? I one day wanted to go on a roller coaster. No. Hi, Brother Donovan. Thanks for coming on. It's never been a dream of mine. It's never been something on my bucket list. It's never been something that I wanted to do. But however, we went, and she was like, hey, Mnena, I'm going to go on the Hulk. You want to come? And I'm like, sure, why not? I'm going to go on the ride too. So I went. And we had our I think about 4 or 5 of the youth in tow. We went with them, and we got on this. So I'm going in my mind. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. At that point, I really didn't know what to expect, because at first I've never been, but it wasn't something that I really wanted to get on, anyways. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try it for trying sake. You would think I would try like the little ones first, but I went on the Hulk. So we get there. And I start to kind of freak out, like just as we're getting on there and waiting for the carts to pull up and for us to go in. So we get in, and boom, they strap us in. So I'm sitting on the edge. So right then in my mind, I made the decision to just keep my eyes shut. I'm like, I'm going to shut my eyes. I'm not going to do I'm not looking at anything. And it was a good decision I made, people, because if I had opened my eyes, I kid you not, my ancestors would have received me that day. But my eyes were shut, and that's why I'm still here. Hi, Marsha. Good evening. Thanks for coming on. And so the ride started, and boom, we start this whole thing. I'm like, what in the world? And so I just kept my eyes shut. I didn't look at anything. I opened like a little pick. I had a little pick, and I shut them back again. Thank God for eyes that can close. And I was just there, and throughout the entire thing, it was the longest 1 minute 30 seconds ever. And I'm thinking to myself, what was I thinking? Like, I was crazy to let them talk me into this. But anyway, so we get off, and she's laughing at me, and she's like, what? So they said, oh, let's get on another one. I don't know what they're called. But the other one is, yes, is that Jaws? You said that was Jaws? I don't know. The one that takes you up and drops you like down. So they're like, oh, let's go on that one. I was like, sure, why not? Let's go. Okay, you would think I learned my lesson the first time. Didn't. I followed and I went. But with this one, as we got in, I was like, you know what? I'm not going. I'm going to turn around now. I knew then that I didn't want to get on this one. But they're like, no, the exit is in there. Let's go. We're going to see the exit is this way. So I'm sheepishly following them and looking for the exit. And we're going higher and higher and higher and higher, and there's no exit. So you go in, and it's like point of no return. You go in, and there's no turning back. You have to see it through. And so I go in there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? So again, I sat in, I was strapped in. And I just held on tightly for dear life with my eyes shut again. And I held on so tightly that it was over, and I didn't even know it. And then Pastor Henry is like, Mnena, it's over. And I'm still holding on. I'm like, no, it's not over. And she said, no, it's over. You can let go now. You can let go. I'm like, no, I'm not letting go. I thought she was teasing, but she actually wasn't teasing. But it was sharing that with you, just to give you like a backdrop to what it was sitting next to her, and how she was, in that moment for me and during that experience, just that part of the experience. She was a leader, she was a leader, but at the same time, she was not, she she was there, she was poking fun, but at the same time, lovingly making sure that I was okay. So I really, I just, just loved the way she let loose, and she really just took care of, all of us, the sheep that were in her care. And I really, really appreciated that. I had so much fun with her, and she's not going to let me, hear the last of it, that's for sure. But it was so amazing to just see how fearless she was, and she just kept going and going. I'm like, you know what, that's it for me, I'm not going, this is it, I'm not doing this again. So of course they go on, and she's like, let's go to the other one. I forget what that one's called. I'm like, no, I am not. Like, I still have nightmares about if I hear the sound, I'm gonna be freaking out in my dream and jump out of my sleep. So we're going, and we go to the other one, the other ride, the other roller coaster, and I have my 8-year-old with me, and so mind you, he's the littlest one in the entire group. And I think with this rides, there's a certain height you have to be. So we go to this one, and apparently there was no height restriction for this. But we're going in, and I see, oh, it's a 40-minute wait. I'm like, no way am I waiting 40 minutes. I am not waiting 40 minutes for this. So I chickened out. That was my ticket to just leave. So I chickened out. I'm like, I'm not going. So I held the little one, my 8-year-old's hand, and I just came out with him. And of course, everyone's moving fast paced. So my team, Pastor Henry and the kids go on, and they're like, come on. I'm like, no, I'm not going. I'm just staying here. They're like, no, keep coming, keep coming. It goes by really fast. I'm like, nope, this time you're not going to talk me into getting on the ride. Before I knew what was happening, my little one's like, I'm going. And he went and he joined them. So I'm here. I'm having another freak out episode. Not because I was on the ride, but in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm like, he's the littlest one there, and I'm down here, and I like, guys, you do not believe like the terrible things that were going on in my mind. I was like, what am I going to tell my people when I come home? That I took their child, and I took their child to Orlando, and he went on a ride. But anyways, it was just something for me to think about, to reflect on, the effects of the roller coaster. Fear will paralyze you if you let it. Fear will definitely paralyze you if you let it. And that with the roller coaster effect, it's like, it starts off really smoothly, but of course you're gonna hear that the little eerie sounds and all of that good stuff. So it starts off really slowly, and then it stops, and you're like, just when you're about to catch your breath and be like, then it goes wham, like full speed, and you're like, whoa. And before you know it, you're having all those twists and turns and dips and all of that stuff. You have the highs, the lows, and I just kept thinking, how much of that is, how is our life so much like a roller coaster? How is our faith journey, our faith walk so much like a roller coaster? You have those highs, you have those lows, you have those twists and turns, you have all those crazies. There are times when you're like, oh yay, everything's going great, and then you have those times when you're like, oh, you're freaking out, and you're like, whoa, what is going on? So how do we handle those moments? You can either buckle in and be like, I am going on this ride, and I'm just going to take a breather, just take a deep breath and just relax into the seat, or try to relax into the seat, and just let it go, and just let the roller coaster just do what it does. You can either do that, you could choose to do that, or you could choose to freak out, but you're still on the roller coaster. It's not going to stop whether you freak out or not. It will not stop. It will still go. So you could choose to do that. But if you decide to choose the freak out route, which is you're scared, you're screaming, granted, like sometimes the screaming is the excitement, but a lot of the time the screaming is the fear. But if you're there, you're so fearful, if the fear paralyzes you, and you're not like letting go and just like, God, this is my life, this is your life. I have no say in what's happening. Every situation I'm going through right now is all up to you. That is you just letting go and relaxing into God's hands, relaxing into his embrace, and relaxing and letting him just drive you. Because whatever you do, nothing you do will stop the roller coaster from going there. It's a point of no return. It's like, once you get in, once you're strapped in, you can't get off. You're not going to get off. They're not going to stop the roller coaster like mid-air, like right there. Oh, okay, we have a passenger on here. Well, we have a rider on here who just wants to get off because they can't go on. No, they're not going to stop it. It's going to go on. So we have to trust completely and surrender and just be present in that moment, trusting everything in God's hands. Because trust me, when you just let go, when you just release and say, okay, I am just letting go and trusting, then you're able to, you may not have fun. There's a chance that you might have fun, you might enjoy it, but even if you don't enjoy it, you're going to it's going to be less of a mental strain on you. And how do we relate that? How do we relate that to turmoils or challenges that come our way, or the roller coaster events that happen in our lives? I can decide to say, for instance, say my rent is due today, or I have a certain bill, or I have a certain deadline to meet, or I need to find a place, or else I'm facing eviction or something. You can either, or my job is almost done. You can either sit down, and worry continuously and just be like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Just keep doing that and keep worrying and worrying and worrying and worrying and worrying. Or you can just sit back, take a deep breath, relax, and say, God, I just leave everything in your care. It's not, there's nothing I can do right now. You hold the whole world. You control everything. And so I'm trusting that you will take care of this. And I'm leaving everything in your, yes, Sister Jasmine, until the ride is done, you can't get off. Once you get on that ride, once you get on it, it's going to keep going. It's not going to stop. And so you can just sit calm and enjoy the sweet, challenges or the sweet tribulations of walking your faith journey. Or you can you can just panic and start being fearful and freaking out through the entire process, which doesn't really change anything because you have no say in what's going on. So the fundamental fact of existence is that is that we trust in God. Like trust in God, that's what faith is. The firm foundation upon which everything that makes life worth living, it's handled on what we can see. We get on those rides. We don't know who's controlling the rides. We don't know anything, but we just trust. We trust that, they're secure. We trust that, all the buckles, all the, the stuff that they tie you in with, we trust that they're secure. They're not going to break. We trust that, there's few accidents have happened, but, they're fairly safe because they have been they've been tested time and time again. So we get on those rides. We don't know you don't know who's controlling it. You don't know if maybe the person might fall asleep or something, or might have a medical emergency like right in the middle of pushing the button. You don't know. But we trust and we get on those rides, and that's how it should be with life. That's how it should be with life as well. And that's how it should be with our faith, trusting completely and just hanging on. So we hang in there. We hang in there on the roller coaster of faith, because being in a relationship with God makes it worthwhile. Hi, Sister Claudette. Good evening. We hang in there. because having that relationship with God makes it worthwhile. Having that relationship means that we understand and we know that He's in control. We understand and we know and we believe and trust that He's the one directing everything and He's the one controlling everything. So whatever it is that's going on, the highs, the swirling around, the the deeps and all of that, the fast, the slow, He's still in it. And so we trust in Him. So has your relationship with God ever felt like a roller coaster? That's something to ponder on. Has your relationship with Him ever felt like a roller coaster? Are you someplace on that ride right now? Are you at that? Are you at that place in your faith walk, which is at the point of the ride where it's smooth, it's just going, slowly, it's climbing up, and there's no fear, there's no fear, like everything's just going smoothly? Or are you at that place where you're at the top and you're seeing everything, you're looking at it, was like, oh, that's beautiful, and just right there where you're trying to enjoy the view, then you get like that deep down, so where are you at? Have you ever experienced or had that feeling of a roller coaster relationship with God? Have you ever felt that? So genuine faith in God can be like a roller coaster sometimes, and Psalm 42 reminds us of this, and it starts off, the psalmist says, as the deer longs for water. Have you ever felt like, you're longing for God, you're longing for that relationship, you're longing for, to have that connection with God? There are times where things are so rosy in our lives. We're like, oh gosh, I'm happy, everything is going well. I'm so, you're smiling one day, everything's fine, but then the next day is like, what a turnaround, like what happened here? And then before you know it, there's another twist to it. So what helps you hang on? When you feel like your relationship with God is a roller coaster? Like what helps you hang on? What is that thing, or what are those things that help you hang on? And like I said earlier, you can either relax, instead of holding tightly onto the bars, you can either just relax into the roller coaster and just enjoy it, or you can just stay there, hang tight. The choice is yours. Because obviously our physical state or whatever we do has no influence. It has no influence on the roller coaster. So whatever you think, however you scream, however you say stop, this is crazy, it doesn't stop it. It keeps going. It will not alter the route. It will still go until it gets to the final stop. So either way, you'll be delivered to the platform on time. So either way, it's a 1 minute 30-second ride, or just a little over. So however loud you scream or cry, it's not going to cut the 1 minute 30 seconds down. It's going to start where the ride is going to start from at the starting point, and it's going to end at the ending point. From where it starts, that's where it will go to the end. It's not going to stop at 30 seconds. It's not going to stop at 40 seconds. It's not going to stop at 60 seconds just because you're screaming, or just because you're saying stop, just because you're crying. It's not going to stop. So you cannot control the ride, but the important thing is you can control the rider, which is yourself. So I figured out after sitting there and reflecting on everything, I figured out that, of course, I could not control the roller coaster. I could not control anything. The only thing I could control was how I would react. That was the only thing that I could control. I can only control the rider. I'm the rider of the roller coaster, and I can only control me. Of course, I can't control myself. I can control myself with the help of God. So the turns and the descents and all those, unpredictable twists and all of that, it is what it is. That's life. That's our faith walk. That's our journey. We take it for what it is. We can't fight the ride. You can't fight the ride. You can't scream the ride. But you can choose to live by faith. You can choose to live by faith. You can choose to live in trust. And that's trust in God. So are you taking all that, that screaming and the twists and the turns, of life, of the roller coaster life, in a state of rest in faith? Are you? Do you? Because sometimes we want to be so much in control that things are not going right, and we're trying to do things in our own power, in our own strength, when we shouldn't. Like, we might be having a crazy day. We might be things might be going so, so weird and so wrong and so crazy, roller coaster. And in our, limited self, limited mind, we're thinking, okay, I'm going to control this. That's you, trying to control the roller coaster. You cannot control the day. You have no power to do anything. You can't control that. You can only control you, the rider. But of course, you can't even control you, but you can only control you with the help of God. You have to ask God to give you a resting spirit, a relaxed spirit, to just say, okay, God, everything's going crazy now. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm losing my mind, but I'm trusting you, and I'm just believing and putting everything in your hands. Because I know that you control everything. I know that you have everything in the palm of your hands. And once we have that, that faith, that transforming faith, because it's not easy to come by, to just have that calming, to be calm in chaos, to be calm in fear. That only happens with the help of the Spirit. So once we have that, He can empower us to just relax and enjoy the ride, or just relax and go through it. So what do you do? If you've ever been on a roller coaster, what do you do when you're on a roller coaster? If you're on a roller coaster right now, what are you doing? What are you doing right now on your roller coaster? Like I said, there's no turning back when you're when you get on it. There's no turning back. There's no turning back. There I was in there trying to find an exit. I'm like, oh, where's the exit? I need to get off now. I need the exit. No, there's no turning back. So what do you do when you're on a roller coaster? When you're on your roller coaster, what do? You surrender to the ride. You surrender to the ride. There's no stopping when it gets to that height, to the peak, and then starts that descent. There's no stopping. There's no brake pedal. It doesn't matter how hard you push your foot down and be like, oh, you're holding on, you're pressing the brakes. There's nothing. You can't stop it. There's no way to decelerate the roller coaster. There's just no way. The only thing you can do, and that's why a lot of people just raise their hands up. I didn't raise my hands up because mine were just like, I held on tight, but the only thing you can do is just to say, you lift your hands up, you raise your hands in total surrender. looking onto Jesus. You surrender to the ride. And you know that you're not alone. That's another way to handle it. You know that you're not alone. You know that God is riding with you. You know that God is on that ride with you. I had Pastor Henry beside me, so I wasn't scared. I still was scared, but I knew I had her with me. But you know that you're not alone on the ride. Whatever roller coaster you're on right now, whatever part of it you're on, whatever twists, and turns and dips that are happening right now in your life, in your faith roller coaster, you're not alone. God is riding in there with you. So through the ups and downs, through those sharp turns, those upside down, whatever twists and twirls, that makes you feel like, you're going to pass out or something. By the way, my 8-year-old did pass out. Yeah, just a side note there. But during those times, whatever it's going on, you know that God is on that ride with you. Hebrews 13:5 tells us that he had said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Because he promised to be with you on that ride. So whatever you are, whatever is going on, he's there with you. He is there with you because he knows what's he knows what's over the next hill. He knows what's in front. He knows what's at the end. What else can you do when you're on the roller coaster? After you surrender and you know that he's there with you, you ride it out. You ride it out. You ride it out. Like I said earlier, you gotta trust. We trust like they're secure. No one gets hurt unless they try to get off during the ride. That's when you get hurt. Someone once said that the Apostle Paul once traveled to Rome on a ship destined to head straight into a tremendous storm. And so he assured all those on board that no one would lose their life if they stayed with the ship. So he held firmly onto God's promise. So through the battering of the waves and all, the rocks and all of that, they all stayed as the ship was torn apart. But no one was lost, even though conditions were far from desirable. So ride it out. Ride it out. I love that song, Ride Out Your Storm. Another thing to remember when you're on that roller coaster ride is it does end. The ride does end. It does end. It may seem like time is standing still. It may seem like it's taking forever to get to the end. But you're moving forward. The ride ends. It does end. And you can put your feet on solid ground again. Because when I got off that, I really had to just really make sure that I was standing on solid ground. So the ride does end. It ends. Trust the Lord to be your firm foundation. Trust him to be that foundation for you. And Psalm 40 reminds us, he brought me up also out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my goings. And also, when you get off that roller coaster, reflect on the ups and downs. Don't forget. Don't forget. Reflect on those ups and downs when your ride is over, when your ride has come to the end, when you've reached the destination. You have to reflect on the ups and downs. Because remember, when you get to that top, when it gets to the peak and it's standing there for just a split of a second or whatever, however long it stays there before it plunges down, you're seeing things that you could never have seen on level ground. Like if you were standing on level ground, you would never see things like that. So you reflect, and then when it went to those low points, you saw things that, you could never, never felt ordinary to you. Like you were seeing things upside down and just really weird. So during the climb and the descent, you may get to know others around you as well, which is really, that I think for me, that was part of the fun. Because in the midst of my panic, I was just cracking up. Because I think it was a mixture of me trying not to scream, but laughing at someone else screaming at the same time. So I don't know what to call that, but it was a mixture of, trying to calm my own fear, but then can't help but laugh at the other person who's screaming. So you come to experience those who are around you, like the fears, their excitement, the thrills, the screams. So who is around you? Who's sitting next to you on that roller coaster? I had Pastor Henry next to me. Like I said, I wasn't scared because she was next to me. But who's surrounding you in that time, that the highs, the lows? Who are you surrounded by? The person who is screaming murder, murder, like I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Or the person who's just has just surrendered and is just screaming with excitement, like I'm so excited that this is happening, yay. That person who has surrendered, and is that who is around you? Who is around you? Who's sitting next to you on your roller coaster? So if you place your trust in Christ, the purpose of the ride will work together for your good. If you place your trust in God, the purpose for that ride, that roller coaster, the highs and the lows, everything will work together for your good. You may never understand why or how, but it'll always work out for your good. So another thing is, you have to stay strapped in. You have to remain strapped in. When you sit on that thing, when you get into that seat, you have to stay strapped in. And what does that mean? When we're talking faith-wise now, you have to be strapped in. You have to be committed. Be committed in your faith walk. Stay strapped in. Stay strapped in your faith. Not when something, when a fiery dart comes, or when just a little turbulence comes, you're like, oh no, I'm done, I'm taking this off, and you're, get me out of here. No, you have to stay committed. There's no backing out. You have to be committed. Once you click that buckle in, that's you saying, I'm committed. I'm going to see this thing to the end. That's what it should be with our faith. That's how it should be. Once we click in, once we buckle in, it means we're committed. God, we're holding on to you. We're trusting completely that whatever comes our way, we are staying strapped in. We're not going to unbuckle and get out. We're going to ride it out. So stay committed, stay buckled in. That's what true faith is. That's what our faith walk is. It is a roller coaster, but how do you handle your faith journey? And that's the only way to just enjoy the thrill of the roller coaster, is to stay committed, to stay seated in it. Be committed to see the ride through. Be committed to see the ride through. Trust in God. Trust completely in Him. We're reminded in Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. So trust in him with all your heart. I don't know what you're going through right now. I don't know what part of the roller coaster ride you're on right now. I don't know if you're like at the top, if you're like at the swirly part, if you're at the bottom. I don't know if it's going fast. I don't know if it's slow, if it's just ascending or descending. I don't know. But wherever you're at right now, just trust him. Trust completely in him. Be committed in your faith walk. Be committed on the journey. Don't give up. Stay strapped in, because the ride does end. The ride does end. So I just wanted to share that with all of you this evening. That's just my reflection on the amazing, eventful weekend I had with Pastor Henry. Yay, she tried to kill me on the ride. But I love you, Pastor Henry. You're amazing. She is so amazing. When I say I want to be like you, Pastor Henry, when I grow up, I am not joking. I do want to be like you. You are such an inspiration. And so that's another question I want to pose to all of us tonight. What? See, she said, "Well, you survived." Yes, I survived. I survived. What example are you laying for others? How are you shining your light for others to see? How are you shining your light? How are you living your light, your life? How authentic are you? That's a question we all need. Those are questions we all need to ask ourselves, to ponder on. Are you being that inspiration for someone else? Can somebody come and say of you, I admire her, I admire him, I look up to her, I look up to him, I want to be like her, I want to be like him? Can someone say that of you? That's something to think about. So on that note, I just want to say thank you all so much for coming on this evening and just spending the hour with me. Thank you, Pastor Henry. I love you. Thank you, Yessie, for coming on. As always, Laurel, thank you. Thank you, Sister Primrose. Brother Donovan, thank you. I saw you somewhere there. Hi, Sister Salma. Thank you for coming on. Mommy Jasmine, thank you for coming on. Sister Claudette, thank you so much. Hey, my sister Kat is on. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for coming on. Akil, thank you so much. I'm trying to catch everyone and just acknowledge you. If I don't get you, I will definitely acknowledge at the end of the show. Now I'm scared. She says she's coming to get me. Oh no, please don't do that. I love you so much. I had to just share that because you really are, truly are an inspiration, and I pray that God will continue to use you to do what he's doing, especially in the lives of our young people. You're just amazing. And so thank you all to family who have tuned in on 89.1. I appreciate all of you for coming on. For those who have come in on newseasonfm.com, thank you for coming on. And of course, those who are on YouTube, I really do appreciate you. I always say I speak for the entire team when I say thank you so much for your support. It is because of your generosity that we're able to come on and do what we do. So please continue supporting your radio station. If you haven't done so, please prayerfully consider supporting There's different ways to do that. You can do so through Cash App. That's the $ New Season WC. That's the $ New Season WC. You can do so through Zelle. The number for Zelle is 954-536-1821. That's 954-536-1821. You can also do so by going to newseasonfm.com. Newseasonfm.com. You click on the donate/give button. It's just really direct. It's it's not that difficult at all. If those don't work for you, please, you can also mail us a check. Mail it out to New Season, 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida 33351. Hi, Sister Marcia. How are you? New Season, 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida 33351. Sister Marcia, thanks for coming on. I'm sorry you came on late and just about heading out, but thank you for coming on and just spending this evening with me. And of course, remember that you can trust God in everything and in anything, that He's always on that ride with you. And so to take us out tonight is Another in the Fire, trusting and believing that God is in the fire with us. So I don't know what I don't know what your circumstances are, your situation is right now, but just trust that He is in it with you. And once He's in there with you, He will definitely see you to the end. So you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. Rest of the week, and I will see you, God's willing, on next Monday. Join Pastor Steve tomorrow for the Pastor Steve Show at 8 a.m. Have a good night, everyone.
Where I used to be in this reckoning, I know I will never